People be lying, talking about, yeah, that's why you go to college, you get a job so you could get a degree. And people, you don't go to college, you're gonna be flipping patties. Baby, I have 2 of them degrees and they won't even let me flip the patties.
Finding a job at the mall harder now that I'm 28 years old with degrees.
I have a master's degree. I got it at 22, and I can't use it because the jobs that are set for this master's degree are being defunded.
I have my master's in health administration. I have yet to get a job.
I am a doctoral student, okay? I let that be known on my resume. The moment you start getting on my nerves, I am gone. Okay? You have a master's degree? Do y'all hear what that is? Masters. You can master yourself up out of that job and go find somewhere that cherish you. The one thing that I don't play about is a job playing in my face, right? Because one thing I always say is I have a master's degree, right? So the moment a job starts stressing me out, I am leaving, okay? I see people all the time like, oh, yeah, I make a lot of money. I didn't go to school and all this. Yeah, but you can't leave that job because it's going to take you a minute to find another one. See, when you have a master's degree, do y'all hear what that is? Masters. You can master yourself up out of that job and go find somewhere that cherish you. The moment a job starts stressing you out and you have a master's degree, it is time to go. Don't let no job stress you out because you have that paperwork. You have that paper. I am a doctoral student, okay? I let that be known on my resume because when you hire me, just know the moment you start getting on my nerves, I am gone, okay?
Take notes, Emily.
Okay? Masters.
See, this is the problem. When hook girls get what they need, right? They turn around and say, I get my master's. Never. You gotta come with something. Can't you see it? Forget it's all over her face. It's all over her voice. I got my master's. I never come with this master's. Here you go. That doesn't equal money. Man, it's wild because I have so many consultations with guys. Literally, tons of consultations. And I tell guys, how much did you pay me? What? $150? And they went to college, right? Learned what they learned. Paid $20,000. Doctorate? $100,000. Just to make what? Sometimes 70, 80,000 a year. I showed a guy today, 3 guys today, for $100 right? 100 and some change. How to make thousands. They're gonna believe it. Like I show, and the wild thing is you can use help. I show how to hire others to do it for you. They work for dollars. You turn around and make thousands with them. And also how to do it by themselves. 100 and some change. You ladies, you gotta stop it. You know why you gotta stop it? See, I'm not trying to be a big meanie. They have to stop it because she's saying this, but this is happening.
My health administration girlies.
And also to guys out there, link in the description. Let me start it over.
To my health administration girlies, what jobs do you guys have? I have my master's in health administration. I graduated in 2024 and I have yet to get a job. I am employed currently, but there has not been any growth there for me. So if any person that has my same degree, either a bachelor's or a master's, please let me know what you did or what route you did to kind of get where you need to be. I do want to get into human resources, but it's so hard to get in. I have no experience. My job does not allow current employees to get into human resources. I don't, there's a little sketchy thing going on with that. I don't know why, but I'm not allowed to go internally to get a human resources job. So if anyone with my degree can help a girl out, network, whatever, please let me know. I really want to pivot and climb higher in my healthcare career. If that doesn't happen for me, I might get into respiratory therapy. I feel like I'm smart, but I'm not that smart. And
Let me get into respiratory therapy and get my master's in that. I can't help it. And still, no, I hope she gets something. I do because she worked hard, used somebody else's money to get that, and now she hit a dud. 2024, that's a long time. We're in 2026 now.
I feel like it's going to be a lot of dedication, but that's with any job field. But I really want to try working with my master's degree because I, have student loans because of that. So I really want to work with this degree before I get into another sector of healthcare. So healthcare girlies or anyone that's in the field, please help your girl out and let me know which job field you're in currently. Thank you.
I gotta say this. You know why I actually feel bad? Because I know what's happening. I told that to somebody today. I know what's happening in the job market, and I know who's taking all of the jobs. Like a lot of times when they say they want experience, I've been doing what I've been doing since before the millennium turned over. I got sales experience and I do certain things to make money. I've been making money online for the longest. But I say that to say this. Let me show some of the comments because you guys need to see some of these. Take a look. This lady said, bachelor's in HR, graduated in 2021, and we were still in a pandemic, was robbed of opportunities because everyone closed down and or wasn't accepting any interns. I have yet to get in my field. I know it's tough as F, but I surrendered my life to God and he has me making a living doing something I would have never thought. However, I don't have the average 9 to 5 schedule and way more freedom and time. Keep pushing. God knows best though, and don't beat yourself up. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? What she just said? That sounds like something I'm doing. Look, what does it say? Content creator, but it's not that. I'm not talking about content creation because I've been doing what I'm telling you guys about before content creation. Man, I'm telling y'all the regular old natural way is not all it's cracked up to be. But look at this. Same, I graduated the same year. Opportunities were not available. What do you do now? Then this lady said, let me watch this. She said, only put your master's in your resume if the job requires it. I tried that too, took my master's off my resume, and still received a rejection letter. Then another one, apply for a government HR job or recycle revenue management at a hospital. All want experience at max. I may have like 2 years of experience. What's happening is they're hiring the people that are in the hospital with experience in other fields in the hospital. So I will say this, the girls that are like, doing a CNA job and they say, you know what, I'm going to go for something else because, and they get an opening in the hospital, you may get that. But that's the kind of experience they're talking about. Young grasshopper, you got to learn.
We are so different from the 20s that our parents were experiencing and our grandparents because, the economy and things are so different. And I was saying how it's because they had way more capital. They could do a lot more with $40,000 a year. Whereas like now, $40,000 a year, girl, where you living? You're living in a shoebox. And I think like a prime example of this, obviously there's so many people who experience this, is like I have a master's degree. A master's degree, I got it at 22. and I can't use it because the jobs that are set for this master's degree are being defunded. Public health care. Big shock. I wonder why that's being defunded. What's ironic about it is like education is used as this tool to gain more capital, to move up socially and economically and in class, right? In the past, it has been, if you get a PhD, a master's, and a college degree, you are typically at a standing point that's better than someone who's not in those education brackets, right? Whereas like now, they're blockading education because everything costs so much money. You have crippling student loan debt, and then you can't get a job to pay off that student loan debt. And so I think it's more than just, oh, your parents had more capital. Your parents were able to do a lot with a college degree. It's even the degrees you have now are not useless. I'm not going to say don't get your education. I don't regret getting my master's. But they don't even offer or create spaces for that because everything is like, oh, well, I want 70 hours of experience in this specific thing. Meanwhile, okay, but I did my master's degree and I have 100 plus, God knows 200 plus hours within this realm, but you don't take that because it's not work experience because I was getting an education and I wasn't working. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense because they want what they want. They want experience, and you don't qualify, right? And I gotta show you guys something. And I say this all the time. I feel like Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something. Look, I'm gonna show you guys right now. Let me share my screen. This is important. I think a lot of people need to see this. This is what I show people. This guy is an expert in video editing, YouTube video editing, and Reels for Business. Take a look at this, right? I'm going to show you his package, but take a look at this. And this is on Upwork.com, right? This guy has 2 contracts in progress. Now, me, of course, I specialize in this. But for $25, $60, $80 right now, I hire people to do this for me. I can easily turn around. You get what I'm betting down? Right? But I want to show you these people, this guy. Look where he's from. I know Filipinos that are making this money too right now. This guy's from Pakistan. He's asking for $20 an hour, right? Let me show you guys something else. Look at this. Look at this guy right here, right? Look at this guy. He does logo design. I can do this too. Let me show you his profile. Let me show you where he's from. This guy has 1 contract in progress. He sold this package 2,617 times. He made $1 million. He's asking for $33 an hour. You got to take your talents to South Beach. That's online. I've been doing this for the longest time. Link in the description.
Brothers and sisters, they kind of cooked, and they cooked in a lot of ways. I remember when I went to the CES show in Las Vegas about the beginning of the year. And if you remember when I came back from that show, I was like, oh man, people are cooked. I kept saying that when I came back. And I know I showed an 8-minute clip of it on our African Diaspora News channel, but if you're on the African Diaspora News channel app, you can see the full, almost 1 hour long video, right, of everything that we were looking at over there. And there's some things in there that shook my head when I was there. And that's when I kept preaching that sermon that, 3 to 5 years, people are cooked. Well, a lot of our young people is really going to suffer that bad, like for real. And the unfortunate part about a lot of this is that they were told to do the old model, but and this is why things aren't working. Let's go ahead and play this clip real quick of this young sister, and let's really get into this.
And y'all old people be lying, talking about, yeah, that's why you go to college. You get a job so you can get a degree. And people, you don't go to college, you're going to be flipping patties. Baby, I have 2 of them degrees, and they won't even let me flip the patties.
Can't make this.
So now what?
Now let's bring some balance. What the older people told her was the old way. At one point in time in this country, I remember the transition of it. That's the thing. In my generation, we got to see the transition of a lot of things, and we adapted to the transition. That's the only thing I will say about my generation. We was great at adapting to changes. At one point in time, that was the case. If you went to college, you got a degree, at minimum a bachelor's degree, you can get a good job, live a good life, get a home, get a couple of cars, take vacations, have a family, whatever, right? American dream was still intact. Then we transition over to this new age where degrees have to be.
Yeah. So what's happening is I saw the changeover. I'm like in the middle, right? I'm the beginning of millennials, on the tail end of Gen X, and I was raised by baby boomers. So I saw it all. I saw the baby boomers take the pensions. I was the last of the pensions because I'm the beginning of millennials. So I saw, like, for instance, I had opportunities to get jobs, but jobs I didn't want, right? I could have been a correctional officer.
You know, a lot of
I was telling my wife about that today, but who wants to be a correctional officer at Rikers Island, right? I could have got there, but who wants that? So I was in there to get the pension. I knew I had to take my talents to South Beach, but God is so good. You know what he showed me? He showed me that many years ago, this was like around the time I started working online. People started transitioning to working online. When did the transition start? When more people were being hired online. This was fundamentally shifting mainstream employment practices by the early 2000s, right? So this has been happening for a while. And this was before the pandemic. I saw the shift and I jumped on it, right? And it picked up in the 2010s, right? Of course, after the pandemic, it picked up a lot, but I was on an early launch of it, right? And, a lot of people didn't jump on that launch and didn't realize. And what it did was it caused this problem, people to be stuck. But let me go to the next video.
Senior academic program coordinator at Johns Hopkins University for their engineering pre-collegiate team. They wanted someone with just a high school diploma and maybe 2 years of experience. Remember that. Mind you, I've worked in universities. I've studied environmental engineering in Costa Rica. That's very relevant because environmental engineering is one of the core curriculums they teach to students. Mind you, I also have a master's degree. I've been a coordinator for nonprofit organizations all across Maryland. I have worked for some of the best universities coordinating their big multi-million-dollar events. And they denied me. Like, I have real live experience doing exactly what they needed, and they still denied me. They brought me into the office, took me all around, and I knew I wasn't gonna get the job because I was the only Black person anywhere on the campus. Besides security, everyone that interviewed me was white. And here I am being as Black as possible with my big old hair, my nose ring, just me being undeniably, very empoweringly Black. And they wanted my high school diplomas, bitch. This wasn't a salary position. It was hourly, but the cap was $36 an hour, and the bottom, I think, was $26 an hour, which is cool, fine. Still denied my Black ass. Like, who else do you know actually studied environmental engineering in Costa Rica for a month, has a master's degree, graduated from the University of Maryland, and could not get a job that was paying hourly? Yeah. And then the lady that interviewed me, Karen, 2 times beforehand, was like, oh yes, we will get back to you as soon as possible, everything. That was in February. You know how many emails and phone calls I've gotten from her? None. You know how many emails and phone calls I've sent to her? A lot. She don't even answer my phone calls no more. I just leave her voicemails that are very aggressive. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, you told me you were gonna get back to me. Just give me the no. I know it's a no. I know it's a no. However, tell me. Don't be pussy about a fucking job, bitch.
She's lucky that when she puts her makeup on, because you know they can do that, and she does her hair, she's not gonna look the same. But these jobs, especially jobs you qualify for, she named some prestigious jobs. She sure did, didn't she? Keisha sure did. The nose ring theory was in full effect. She said, I'm still ghetto. I got it. I'll tell her, Karen, you Karen? See, but nowadays, they got some new things, especially with the AI attached to it. That facial recognition. Well, they'll say, oh, you thought this wasn't you. I hope you got the TikTok account in someone else's name. Right? Because nowadays, what are they doing? Your digital footprint. Your digital. Now, I want to share something. So, how many? What percentage? I want to ask the percentage. What percentage of companies are searching digital footprint nowadays? God, you guys got to see this. I gotta. Man, I don't want to screenshot it. I gotta. Ooh, this is crazy. So, what percentage? 70%, approximately 70% of employers search or screen a job candidate's digital footprints during the hiring process. Reasons companies search digital footprints: screening candidates for personal behavior and communication skills. This could be a reason why you probably didn't get a couple of jobs. They don't realize what's going on. This is the day of AI. What are you doing? Verifying information provided on resumes and job applications, and overall online reputation. So they're seeing you in your Keisha garb saying, wearing the head wrap. When guys say, do your hair, saying, you Karen? Denied.
9 degrees and not one steady paycheck. This week, the Washington Post published this article on the Black unemployment rate, specifically for college-educated Black women. And as a Black woman with multiple degrees who just recently got laid off, I unfortunately am overqualified to talk about it. So in this article, particularly, the Washington Post spoke to 4 Black women who worked in the federal government. And one of them, for example, literally has 2 master's degrees, years of experience in middle management, and has been unemployed since last July. The article even goes on to say how there has never been a larger unemployment disparity in this country ever. I also want to preface that Jeff Bezos owns this publication. Now back to me. I have my bachelor's and my master's in mass communications, and when I was hired on my team, I was in fact the only person with a degree at all. Fast forward 3 years, I was laid off. And unfortunately, I am by no way surprised. I personally have spent the last several years working in the solar energy industry, which is a highly government regulated industry that varies from state to state. And since last summer, since the big beautiful bill passed, It hasn't been good for the industry. You can look it up yourself. It's been pretty bad. So I knew then my days were numbered. At the beginning of this year, my manager had been making my life an actual living hell. I was so miserable, and I knew they were up to something nefarious because they were just moving so funny, which is why me getting laid off felt so much more painful, because as much as they want to say it's not performance-based, it's not personal, I'm like, but the way you've moved for the last 6 months makes me know that you had this lined up for a long time, and you just put me through hell for the hell of it, because there was nothing I could have done to prevent this layoff, because as you're saying, it was not performance-based. Like I said, when I joined my team at the time, I was the only person that had a bachelor's and I had a master's, along with the fact that I went through 7 rounds of interviews for an entry-level position. And I wouldn't even say I'm bitter about all this. It's more, I'm just like, I should have moved like this. Like, I feel like I shrunk myself so much to fit in this corporate environment like a lot of us do, but mine was extra special because my entire team was based out of Utah, and if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. And like I said, it wasn't just a regular layoff. Like, if it was just, I really didn't see it coming, everything was fine at work for the past year, 6 months, it would be one thing. But just to put this into perspective, my manager leading up to my layoff for a month canceled every single one of our one-on-ones. So the first time I talked to my manager in a month was the 2-minute conversation when he was telling me I no longer had a job. And when HR joined the call, they were like, is there anything you want to say? I was like, honestly, this is the most bittersweet thing that's ever happened to me, because y'all have made my life a living hell. I'm literally overqualified for this job, and I am the least paid person on this team. And for you guys to say that it's not personal and it's not performance-based when you acted like my performance was what it was, I don't believe anything, and honestly, good riddance. Now, I've officially been unemployed for about 6 weeks, and it's been something. I gave myself like 2 weeks to be depressed about it, but then I was like, okay, we gotta make this money somehow. Luckily, I already had an exit plan for next summer by going back to school, but that is a year away, and that's a year of living and spending money, and I'm not trying to do that because I'm trying to go back to school. So I have no intention of going back into a typical corporate setting because I know how the job market is, and it's just so hard to find a normal 9-to-5, and I felt like it would just be a waste of time, like going through that entire process if I knew I was gonna leave in a year. So I was like, oh, I'll just work in retail, I'll get a front desk job. Y'all, why is finding a job at the mall harder now that I'm 28 years old with degrees than it was when I was 15 working at McDonald's? Literally really disheartening, because it's like, I know I'm not the only one, but I did everything right. I stayed home for my undergrad degree. I had internships literally every single semester in college after my freshman year, which is very rare. I went and got my master's. I moved to another state to get a job because they had a better job market. I moved back in with my parents now so I could save money so I can go back to school. I was the most educated person on my team. I was also the only single person on my team.
This girl had a long, hard road. It's hard out here, man. It's hard.
Is high in the black communities. And when I first read the article title, I was like, what? Then I read the article and I was like, you know what? They're right. So basically, what they were saying was black women will have over 4 kids with multiple baby daddies, knowing that they don't have the education, the finances, the housing.
And, she's not talking about all, because obviously it's not these ladies, right? what happened is we have a divide. You have the low lives, and then you have the I can do better by myself, who are now struggling. I can do better by myself, led them into a trap. But let me let her finish cooking.
The vehicle to support all these children. And I was like, you know what, that is true because we all know females who got 8, 9, 10 kids, 5 baby daddies, and don't have a house, don't have a car, don't have an education, yet they continuously have children. And that is, okay, yeah, that does keep us in poverty. And I'm like, maybe they right. Maybe they're right. I know that's one of the reasons why I got my tubes tied. After my 4th kid, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. Because I seen how hard it was. Like with my 3rd kid, I did not want to be pregnant. I was fine with my 2 kids. Although it happened, I kept it, I sucked it up. I got pregnant again and I was like, you know what, this will be my last time. I'm not
Yeah, I gotta say this one thing because I guess I'm the master at it. My wife said, "You're the master at it. You got to be a master of the pull-out." See what it is? That's not on the female. Yes, I will say that. And they're gonna say, "Oh no, no, no! See, I told you, you guys ain't shh." No, no, no. You're messing with ain't knuckles. That's what we're saying. But let me continue.
going to continue to do
And
this
not
to
her
myself.
per se.
No. And I seen how hard it was to take care of kids. I seen how expensive it was, and I was like, I'm not gonna continue to do this. I'm gonna stop. And then I went and enrolled myself into school. I'll be done next year, and I think it was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself because I probably would have more kids, unfortunately. But I stopped it, and some women don't, and that is what's keeping us in poverty.
Come on in here and work and talk with me for a second. So listen, a black male doctor on this here page on Instagram just posted a reel, and he's calling other black men to stop dating masculine women.
You should.
And so a woman asked him in the comments respectfully, hey, so what is a masculine woman based on your definition? And instead of answering the question, he said, any woman that's triggered in the comments. Sir, that's not a definition, that's a deflection. You know, you can't define the term. If you can't define the term that you're using to categorize millions of women, especially black women, then maybe the problem isn't women. Maybe it's your argument. And see, what's so crazy is somewhere along the way, intelligence has become masculine. A woman who has standards, that's being masculine. Accountability has become masculine. Disagreeing with the man is considered masculine, is considered argumentative, especially with a black woman. If they're not accepting manipulation, that's masculine. If they have boundaries, that's masculine.
I gotta stop this, all right? Because me myself, you guys can, I can say I have experience, right? I've been married for 11 years. Has there been division? Yes. Has there been any controversy? Yes. Do I consider her masculine? No. Why is that? Because when it comes down to everything, she will follow me until the sun doesn't give light anymore. That's what men need, not want. It's what we need. And I see you got in the background believe. We don't believe there's a way. So as you said, dear black men, I said the same thing as the man. And what he was saying is the ones that get upset in the comments. He was right. Because you probably got upset when you heard that. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Also, if you want an opportunity, we can make some extra money. I talked about it a lot in the video. The link is in the description. Also, with this video, I believe I'll put it in the comments as well. I'm sure a lot of you guys have saw it, but no, it's real. If you really want an opportunity, I'm very experienced. I can help out. And it's very inexpensive. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you next video.